Filling up the lobby, that's the daily operation. This ain't just a game, it's a whole new conversation. Running up the score, yeah.
All right, what is up, Ashley?
Hey, Damian.
Happy Memorial Day.
Yeah, Monday
Absolutely.
to
It's
be home and not taking a lunch break.
100%. Always good to be here rather than the office. And welcome back to the Game Talk podcast. Like, share, and subscribe, of course. Ashley, let's jump right in. Lots to talk about. We'll start with NASCAR driver Kyle Busch, the number 8 car. I know this is something you had texted me about. This is, very near and dear to you. Kyle Busch died on what, Thursday, I believe.
Thursday.
Kind of, what was that?
Thursday.
Thursday, kind of out of the blue. This was all of a sudden, no one really expected it. A couple things about Kyle Busch. He was in his 22nd full-time season in the NASCAR Cup Series. He is a two-time NASCAR Cup Series champion. Kyle Busch had 63 total wins. And again, he had been hospitalized Thursday with a severe illness. His family concluded that Kyle Busch had severe pneumonia, which had progressed into sepsis. What are your thoughts about this Kyle Busch thing, Ashley?
So Kyle Busch is my favorite race car driver. I love car racing. I've been watching car racing forever. He's my favorite, and he's my favorite because he's such a prick about it. He is in your face and everybody hates it, and he takes a bow. Swear to God, after every win, when the crowd starts booing, he takes a bow, and he's so here for it. He's competitive. He's the best at what he does. He has the most wins in the series, the three series total. Um, he's amazing. His second championship, he had a compound fracture in his right leg and tore up his left foot, or vice versa. I'm not sure. Um, the so like there are three tiers. You have the craft series, the truck series, and then you have like the B League, which is like the middle one, and then you have like the NASCAR series, which is like the minor and the major leagues. So like in the minor league Daytona 500, he crashed his car and he had this compound fracture and just tore up his legs. 11 weeks later, he won 4 out of 6 races and then finished the season with the championship. This man is driven and competitive and he's amazing. But then yesterday I was watching the pre-race show ahead of Charlotte, and it was all Kyle Busch. And like everybody's memorial to him was like, yeah, like he was a fierce competitor and he was a dick. Like he made it known that he is like here to like hit you and go past you. But then everybody just really remembered like outside of that persona, nicest guy, always willing to help somebody out, always willing to teach what he knows and what works for him. And nobody gets to see that side of him, but like he was just the kindest guy off of the track. And like I was just sobbing yesterday. Yesterday was supposed to be the best day of the year for racing. You usually have Monaco. F1 changed the schedule, and I don't know why. Monaco is always on Memorial Day, so that was dumb, but whatever. And then Indy, and then NASCAR, and like a bunch of NASCAR guys will go and they'll race Indy 500, and then they'll fly to Charlotte and then race the 600, and it's awesome. I know Kurt Busch has done that, his brother, but I'm not sure about Kyle. So it's supposed to be like the best day of the year. And like Kyle was going to sit out because he's been sick for weeks and weeks and weeks. He won the Sunday before, but he was sick. And like in his interview, they were like, "How are you feeling?" He was like, "Yeah, you can still hear it. Like, I'm not great, but it is what it is." I think it was just a sinus infection that he was just pushing through. But then I was reading all of this, I was reading about it. And so the G forces in the car, like, pushed everything down, and then it just pneumonia and then sepsis and then just gone. And like, oh, I've been so upset for days. Like, I don't know him, but like just devastated. And his son, they retired his number until his son is ready to race NASCAR. Bruxton is like 12, I want to say, and he's so good. He wins everything just like his dad. In a few, like a very specific series, I think they're funny cars. I think that's what they're called. They would race against each other. Oh, so devastated.
So tragic. Kyle Busch, 41 years old. Um, to my understanding, he is the first last NASCAR driver, active NASCAR driver, to die during the season since Dale Earnhardt in 2000.
Oh, I didn't know that. You know what? But looking back at it, I want to say that's accurate because everybody else who's died in between, it's always been off the track.
Mm.
Or not off the track. I mean like they're retired or whatnot. Yeah.
Well, I think Greg Biffle got in a plane crash earlier this year, but
Mhm.
he had been retired, right?
Yes, he's been retired for a minute, but that was really sad. Yeah, Joe Gibbs was Kyle's owner for both of his championship. Joe Gibbs, the same Joe Gibbs who brought the Washington Redskins to their championship. When he first signed Kyle Busch to Joe Gibbs Racing, they made him like a Washington Redskins jersey.
Mm.
Oh my God, I love Joe Gibbs. Everybody calls him coach on the track. Yeah.
I just saw an interview with an ex-player, and someone really despises Joe Gibbs.
Oh, really?
I'll bring it back. I'll remind you later.
Okay.
All right, so Kyle Busch, like you had mentioned, he races for Richard Kipling, if I'm not mistaken.
Childress, RCR.
Childress.
Same as Dale Jr. So like now Childress has lost two legends. Dale Jr. was the number three for Richard or RCR Racing when he had his accident. I remember that day vividly. Like he hit the wall, okay, and it was the last lap. He was blocking, I want to say for his son. I loved Dale Jr. He was blocking and he hit the wall, and everybody just finished the race because it was in turn four. Like, okay, move on. Because these cars, like Carl Edwards went through the fence one time. Like Steve Park, literally, he did get really hurt, but he literally flipped over cars. Like these cars are built to withstand accidents. And so like Dale Jr. or Dale Earnhardt just hit the wall. Okay, fine. Whatever. Finished the race. Okay, moved on. My uncle called me like 2 hours later and was like, "Oh my God, he's dead." And I was like, "Who's dead?" And he was like, "Dale Earnhardt is dead." And I was like, "Oh." And at that point, they required this device to hold your neck in place because at that point it was optional. And Dale Earnhardt was old school, like he was old school, and he didn't want that device. And like maybe had he had it on, he would have survived. It was just a fluke and it was crazy. But RCR was his owner when he died, and RCR was Kyle Busch's owner when he died. It's so awful. Samantha, his wife, and his kids were standing with RCR yesterday, um, when they like had the introduction to the race and whatnot. Oh, it's awful.
Yeah. Well, um, and like you had mentioned, the his racing team did say they would retire the number 8 car unless his son Brexton did decide to race.
Yeah,
So uh, uh,
love that.
Kyle Busch gone at 41. Moving on to one of your favorite topics, NFL football. LA Rams Matthew Stafford just signed a couple days ago, 1 year, 55 million. He was holding out, didn't report to OTAs, but he is back in the building. 1 year, 55 million. Matthew Stafford now has 2 years and 105 million remaining on his contract. Of course, Matthew won the 2025 NFL MVP award last year, threw for 4,707 yards, 46 touchdowns. Ashley, what is your opinion about Matthew Stafford re-up in one more year?
I like it. I think him and Sean McVay make a great team. It just clicked. Like Jared Goff, great quarterback, but it wasn't clicking. And I think it's ironic that the two just swapped and they're both doing so fucking good at their jobs. Sean McVay and Stafford, they click, it works. They're consistently a contender in the playoffs. I love it. I love it. I think it's well deserved. I think that I read that if he gets all of the incentives in place, he'll be the first NFL quarterback to break 500
Mm.
during their playing career. So like that's cool. I think it's absolutely warranted. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Very good. Matthew Stafford, 38, just turned 38 in February. Um, Obviously, you have to pay the guy who just won the NFL MVP. You can't let him walk. That's crazy. But as we all know, just a few months ago, the Rams did select a quarterback, number 13 in the first round of the draft, Ty Simpson. Usually, Ashley, when you draft a quarterback in the first round, it's a guy that's expected to either play his rookie season or, pretty soon. He's supposed to play pretty soon. Where does this leave Ty Simpson and the Rams? And I mean, like, what's the plan here?
So, I get the concept that ooh, he's being replaced. They're looking. I get that. I I don't feel like his job is in jeopardy by any means. If anything, that rookie has an amazing mentor to look up to and to learn from. And learning from Stafford on the sideline, if if he was hurt, injured, taken out, maybe it would be like a Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes situation. I don't think it's I don't think it's anything for Stafford to think twice about. I just I get it. I don't really care about the draft, so maybe that's why my opinion's not like, ooh, this is the order that they drafted in. Like, whatever. They got
Well,
a quarterback.
what
They
about
need a quarterback.
what about from Ty Simpson's perspective, the rookie? I mean, this is a guy who went to Alabama, a pretty, major collegiate program. He's thinking he's going to be a huge star in the league. Now he's seeing the guy in front of him sign for, another year. He's like, I'm not even going to get a chance for 3 years. I mean, you had mentioned he does have the opportunity to sit behind an NFL MVP, a two-time MVP, so he does get that mentorship. But as a young, hungry guy, I mean, do you think he would want to just come in and get a chance, like the guys in his class, his draft class?
I mean, I get it. Their egos are probably like, no, like I'm your guy. I want to play. I want to play. I get it. I do. But I don't think that there's anything wrong with you got drafted and you need to grow before you're just thrown out there. I mean, sometimes they're just thrown out there and they do really well. Okay, Jordan Love did really well. Um, Bryce Young took a minute. Is he a good quarterback? Yeah, he is. Did he start off a good quarterback? Not so much. I don't know. I don't think it's a negative to be a rookie and not a starter. I don't look at it as a negative.
Yeah, and like you had mentioned, very similar to the Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love predicament. I think the question going forward is, what if the Rams win the Super Bowl in either this year or next? I mean, does Matt Stafford then re-sign again? Now you might have some drama brewing in Ramsville, which would be good
Yeah.
as a Seahawks fan. But I did want to kind of stay in the NFL with you, Ashley, bring up something a story that's been developing over the past few months that I have been seeing that kind of culminated with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signing into bill the Teddy Bridgewater Act last Friday. Now, the Teddy Bridgewater Act allows Florida high schools coaches to now use their own money to help their players with expenses like food, transportation, physical therapy, and rehab. So, under the Teddy Bridgewater Act, Florida high school coaches, and this is all sports, so this isn't just football, this covers all sports. But now the coach can spend up to 15,000 per team per year out of their personal money on their players. This all came into play because back in 2024, Bridgewater had coached his alma mater, Miami Northwestern, to a state championship, but I believe that state championship may have been rescinded and he was suspended because he was supporting his players by giving them ride and funding some of their activities, especially transportation. So, he brought it up the courts, and now it's the Teddy Bridgewater Act is into law. What are your thoughts about this Teddy Bridgewater Act, Ashley?
Okay, so I had to look into it. I didn't know a whole lot about it. And my first thought was he's doing a good thing for kids who need help. So Nnamdi Asomugha, one of my favorite Raiders ever, he went to Narbonne High School, which is very close to my hometown. Um, And like in his NFL career, he wasn't a coach or anything. Like in his NFL career, he would pay for any child. I mean, they are children, whatever. He'd pay for any guy who needed help with the football program at Narbonne, and he would just pay for them to play, like whatever they needed for uniforms, this, that, or the other. So, like, my first thought with Teddy was the same. Like, he's just trying to help a kid out who needs help. Um, but then talking to you and like getting my bearings ahead of this, it made sense. Like, yeah, he does have more means than most head coaches at a high school probably does. He has connections. He has resources that your standard high school football coach probably just doesn't. And then, yeah, it's no longer a fair playing field. So I get it. I get it. I appreciate that the state took it into consideration and has opened it now so that everybody is allowed to do that and capped it. I think capping it is super important because what high school coach has the means to pay $15,000 to help a kid out? I don't know. It's a really good deed though, and I love that. But he does. He has more resources, and I didn't even take that into consideration when I first started reading it. So I think it's really cool that Florida took it on, accepted it, like, hey, this is for the best for everybody. But capping it, I think, is really important.
Yeah. I think that's great for Teddy Bridgewater. I definitely want to applaud him. Obviously, his heart was in the right place.
Mhm.
I think the broader issue, with especially with high school sports, with public schools. I'm from Washington State. I played high school basketball. I went to a public school, and what I can tell you is, um, the private schools do have an advantage with the donors, and especially with football, because football is an expensive sport to play. When football requires a lot of equipment, um, expensive equipment. It requires a lot of working out with your teammates in the off season. You have to go to the weight room. It requires a lot. And in my state, Washington State, a lot of the larger schools that had more money are just more dominant in football. Basketball is a little different because it's just cheaper to play. It's just easier. It's a lower bar to access. But especially with football, with sports with live equipment like hockey, swimming. I think a lot of the richer schools do have an unfair advantage with more access. I know when I was in high school sports, my coach assisted me, would take me to McDonald's. He would sometimes give me rides home. Other parents would give me rides home. So I do have a personal soft spot for what Bridgewater's doing. But like you had mentioned, where do you draw the line? I mean, some of these, now they're giving high school kids NIL deals. So,
High school, seriously?
yeah, high school is getting NIL deals. So now, they're getting name, image, and likeliness deals. So
That's crazy.
a bit of a gray area, Ashley. I did want to, if you don't mind, briefly patch through our NBA insider, Cameron Johnson. Cameron, are you with us, sir? I think
Yeah, I'm here.
what's going on, Cameron? How you doing today? Happy Memorial Day to you.
Happy Memorial Day. Glad to see you. Nice Otani jersey.
Thank you. Thank you. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk a little NBA basketball. Ashley, I know NBA isn't necessarily your strong suit. I know sometimes you have opinions. Did you want to stay on for our NBA segment, Ashley?
I want to hear Cameron's crazy.
Let's go.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
All right, Cameron.
Cameron's crazy. I love that. Nice. That's got to be the name of the segment. Cameron's crazy. I love that.
I'll get a graphic together.
Nice. Heck yeah.
Cameron, last night, big Western Conference Finals game. Spurs beat the Thunder 103-82. Series tied 2-2. Wemby, 33 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Mr. Cameron Johnson, what say you?
Well, if you're asking me my prediction of the series, I think the Spurs win in 6. I think they win back-to-back games, actually. I don't think the Thunder win another game, if I'm being honest. And 1 second, because I know this always happens. I go to an elevator taking my kids to the pool. So if you lose me, I apologize. I think that right now, because of the Spurs matching the physicality of the Thunder, that it took away a big advantage that they have on the league. And the Spurs have everything they need to stop Shea Gilgeous-Alexander but the Thunder don't have anything to stop Wemby, right? It's kind of where what I'm seeing. And if you look at the overview of how many times they played 9 times this season. The Spurs are 6-3. You know, the wins that the Thunder have had, I think maybe two of them have been convincing. Only one, or two have been convincing. The other one was pretty much a near draw, right? So the Spurs have pretty much blown out the Thunder every single time that they played each other, except for when the officiating was like out of this world terrible. So my personal opinion, I think the Spurs win tomorrow. I think the Knicks sweep tonight. I think that they're going to sweep going into the finals. You know, go New York, go New York, go. I think I think that the Knicks actually this might be the year of destiny for New York, dude. I think the Knicks might win the chip this year. As insane as that sounds. Little known fact, by the way, I have to add this in. The Knicks statistically right now, they're winning at a 19-point difference of their opponents. That's the best in NBA history. That's 5 points better than the 2017 Warriors, right? So the only people that are even tracking is the Thunder of this year, and they're 4 points behind them. So the Knicks are historically right now the best team in NBA playoff history ever by a gigantic margin. And they've won if they win tonight, it'll be 11 games in a row out of their first 12 games. So they've lost one game, and now, so that's how I'm looking at the playoffs.
The Knicks are on fire. Yeah, I can't dispute any of that commentary. We're kind of getting a bit ahead of ourselves. I did want to talk Nick Cavs, but let's briefly just go back to Spurs Thunder.
Got you.
Noted one of the biggest differences I noticed between games 2 and games 3. I'm sure everybody noticed was bench production.
Yeah.
Game 2, Thunder 76 points. That was the all-time ever in a playoff game. 76 bench points.
Yeah.
They won that game. Obviously, game 4, they lost by 19. Bench only had 34 points. You're our basketball insider. What do you think attributes to the fluctuation of bench production?
It literally just it's you could pin it on one thing: the loss of AJ Mitchell and J Dub. Right, when you take away not only J Dub, who's a all NBA player, but his replacement as well. You're now shifting the bench over to where you now have players playing outside of their position. They're now being guarded by people that can move and stop them in one-on-one plays. Because if you look at the defense on Game 3 and on Game 4, the defense was zone defense on Game 3. It was man-man defense on Game 4. So they forced Shea to beat them on one defense, and they kept him at under 20 points. They kept the Thunder at 80 points, right, by playing man defense. So this is why I was saying they have a lot of pieces that match up with the Thunder very well. Big guards that move laterally. They don't have the deepest bench, but because of those losses of those two players, things are now evened out to where they have about the same amount of personnel that they could run on the field, run on the court together. So I mean that's with AJ Mitchell and J Dub not being in the rotation, the Thunder can't win another game because it's just two huge pivotal pieces of how they move their offense, and it makes everybody else move the same way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the series is deadlocked at 2-2, so we will we have a series. We have a 3-game series. It's looking good. Yeah, but and you did mention you went right in.
I jumped in. My bad, man.
Knicks Cavs, and since you did it, let's hop in. Obviously, like you had mentioned, the Knicks are looking for the sweep tonight. It hasn't been looking good for the Cavs. A lot of folks are targeting James Harden, especially his defense on the defensive end and his fourth quarter. Not showing up offensively in the fourth quarter. Do you think James Harden is the reason why the Cavs are down 0-3?
No, I don't. I think it's the lack of Donovan Mitchell's production that's really killing the Cavs right now. Not to mention Evan Mobley isn't dynamic enough to play at this high of a level. You have people like OG Anunoby. You have people like Mikal Bridges that are applying 3 different scoring facilities, right? They're 3-way scorers. They're 40% from 3. They're 50% from mid range, and they're over 80% from free throw. You're looking at 3-way scorers on the court that Brunson can defer to when he's not doing well, right? when Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley, right? Evan Mobley is their third option. You could say that he's supposed to be their OG Wananobi. He only is effective on the defensive end. He's not nearly as effective on the offensive end. He's not as consistent enough with his threes. He doesn't get the ball. He doesn't demand the ball enough in the middle to show off his finishing abilities because he's an incredible finisher, but he's not aggressive, right? He's an off-ball player. And 2K, they would say he's a good boy build, right? Like he's meant to rebound, pass, and block, right? He's not an offensive threat. And in the Eastern Conference Finals and any conference finals, your team has to be dynamic enough to play defense and scores on all levels at all positions, which is why you see the Spurs. You have 8 players that are going to facilitate. You got Vassell, Castle, you have got the rookie Harper, you have Wemby, you have and you have Keldon Johnson, right? You have those 6 players that on defense will lock down their player, on offense will get their bucket, right? The Thunder have Shea, they have J-Dub, they have Chet, they got Harkenstein, they have they got the homie that they picked up with the nail polish. They have AJ Mitchell. They have about 8 or 9 Jared McCain, right? They got 8 or 9 players that can quite literally on both ends either shut their man down and score on all 3 efficient levels. So when you get to this echelon in the playoffs, unless you have a Michael Jordan, a LeBron James, a Giannis Antetokounmpo, a Joker that's just so miles ahead of everything that you can throw at him schematically, the better team's going to win, right? And that's kind of what the Thunder showcase up to this point.
Ashley, I am going to jump on FanDuel and wager $500 on tonight's Knicks Cavs game. It is the line is Knicks favored by 2.5. What is the correct play here?
You're asking the wrong person. Going based on Cam, you're gonna do well.
It's not too Cam crazy, is it?
So you say
No, actually, today made total sense.
Thank you. I'm on a call. I can't. Give me 1 second.
All right. All right. And I just wanted to, before we let you guys out here, and I appreciate both of your time on this holiday. Cam, I don't know if you saw, this was kind of crazy to me, but Cleveland Cavaliers coach Kenny Atkinson after game 3 said, even though we're down 0-3, we're up 3-0 in the analytics.
So,
did you see that? And what are your opinions on him saying crazy shit like that?
well, so I got to think about like if so I'm in my mind I'm like, is that grounds for termination just off the jump? Like should you just fire your coach for something that egregious, or do you let the sweep play out and then ask him why he would say some crazy stupid stuff like that, and then let him talk himself into even more of a hole? So I mean, in all honesty, I think that's probably the most I think that's like Cam crazy right there, right? That's like something I would say about the whole LeBron and Michael Jordan argument. Like, no, actually, LeBron's up 3-0 and 6-0 in the championship. But
I really
that's
like that spin.
yeah, that's crazy to me, right? But I think that Kenny Atkinson's up until here's the thing, right? There's good regular season coaches and then there's good playoff coaches. Most coaches like Mike Brown, who were criticized massively during the regular season, were hired because of what the other coach couldn't provide for the New York Knicks, who just got them to the Eastern Conference Finals but failed. He literally got to the Eastern Conference Finals, failed, was fired because he was Tom Thibodeau. He's only known as a regular season coach, and in the playoffs, he always has his players piddle out at the end because he plays them too hard. They fired him and hired Mike Brown for this exact moment because they knew he didn't give a damn about the regular season. He cared about the playoffs and achieving what would be the ultimate goal, right? The Kenny Atkinson's he's a regular season coach. He's going to get you your 50 wins. He isn't going to get you past where you need to be to where he's again matching up against a level of coach that is one of the smartest brains on the planet, and you can't get like that's a Dagnall, that's a Mike Johnson over in Spurs. That's those are those level even I wouldn't even say Mike Brown's even to those levels of the Western Conference coaches because they're just like going to be the faces of the coaches of the league in the next like 5-10 years. But Mike Brown has been a top 5 coach for the last 10 or 15 years. So Kenny Atkinson just isn't that guy. I think his father was an incredible coach. He ain't that guy, to be real.
I think we can all agree on that. I think we went a little long. This might be our longest episode. I appreciate both of you guys. Cameron, you got out of here easy. I didn't have anyone to argue with you. Next time, I'm gonna have somebody arguing with you.
Okay.
Pleasure, Ash.
Well, yeah. Hey, have a great. Hey, I don't know, Luke, Damien, whoever, yo, Ashley. I hope you guys have a blessed Memorial Day. You guys have a great day, and I can't wait to be back on.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good. Bye, guys.
All right.